Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Secretary, pleasure to be here. I have to say I've driven through Texas a few times, and I always wonder how you guys can stand those long drives. I see it today why it is. You guys have stamina. Stamina. Now, I do want to ask this. You know, the FHA has played somewhat of a counter-cyclical role since the financial crisis, and I know that you guys have been criticized for bringing down the rates on your mortgage insurance premiums, but others have criticized the other way, saying you haven't come down low enough, in the sense that it still has a historically high level, you know, compared to the past. Could you comment on that? Because we still get a lot of pressure at home from a lot of the realtors saying, you know, we got to do more, you know, and the FHA should do more. Here you're hearing the opposite, you know, you ought to do less. But at home we hear the opposite, you guys got to do more. Could you comment on that?
Well, that's, I think, a good question, and one that has been asked of FHA over the years. Certainly there have been many voices calling for lower premiums, and some voices since the announcement saying that perhaps we should have gone lower, as you say, and it's clear. We also have folks saying don't do it at all. But as we said again after the annual report came out in November, our responsibility is to make decisions that are consistent with our fundamental statutory obligations and also meet our historic mission. And so we wanted to be sure to strike that strong balance between continuing to improve the health of the MMI fund and also affording opportunity for folks of modest means that are hardworking to be able to access credit for a home loan. And 50 basis points in that regard was the best landing spot, we felt.
But I guess I would ask, though, this, that there is that continued, you know, the economy seems to be recovering. I mean, you take a look at the stock market, certainly, and look at job growth. But one of the things that doesn't seem to be coming back as robustly as before, and certainly not in California, certainly not in my district, is the sale of homes and the home market. So some people are pushing, saying you ought to do more. In fact, the reality is that, you know, it's pretty healthy, as you've been saying. I mean, the fund is somewhat healthy. I was at, I guess like some of my colleagues here, I was a vice president of Liberty Mutual, and we did insurance. And the reality is that, you know, you have up markets, you have down markets. Here there seems to be an opportunity for you, and it seems like you could do more. And so, again, I just want to push you on that. I know they're pushing the other way, but when you go home, they push the other way, saying you ought to do more. So could you just comment a little further on that?
Well, yeah, it is the case that we are always monitoring each of these things. You know, the volume, of course, the health of the mutual mortgage insurance fund. We want to be able to afford opportunity to folks. We believe that, I believe that the 50 basis point reduction is sound and it makes sense. If the question is, will it make sense in the future to lower the premiums again, that could be the case, but you know, we're going to make a decision based on the evidence in front of us and ensuring that we continue to strengthen the mutual mortgage insurance fund and balance our mission of affording opportunity.
But the indices seem to show that you are going the right way. In other words, even though you've been beat up a little bit here by violating the law and other things, even though you just got there, the reality is the fund is strong and getting stronger. So, I mean, will you continuously look at this? Because, again, the pressure at home is very different from what I've heard here today.
We will continue to look at the insurance premiums as we look at all aspects of FHA. You know, as I mentioned before, 2013 and 2014 were the most profitable books of business in FHA's history. And we'll have a better sense of this, I believe, when we get the next annual report in November of this year.
Thank you very much. And again, I thank you for your staying here for so darn long. No. I haven't seen that in any other committee. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I yield back. Thank you, sir.
Gentleman yields back.